Well, y'all, welcome back. Welcome back to the Truth Seeking Network. It's been a long time since I made a face video, but today, well, first of all, I want to thank y'all for watching all the garden videos. We had a pretty decent gardening this year. Um, some things didn't turn out like I wanted to, but it was pretty good for the most part. So y'all can go back and check out the garden videos, okay? Because I like watching stuff grow. So, and I'll be doing it again forever. Not this, I'm just going to do that forever. As long as I can grow, I will always grow things. But this video is going to be about basically we already own nothing and we're not happy. And what I mean by that is if you think about what's really going on out here, you hear about 2030, they have the 2030 plan that you will own nothing and be happy, right? But right now, that truth is we already don't own anything right now. And that's what's really going on right now. And most people don't even think about it. But when you buying a house, right? And the couple is buying a house and you get the husband and the wife or whatever, they go and get a house and stuff. They all happy and excited about buying a house. And they're young, and they spend 30 years to pay that house off. Right? They struggling, all the sacrifice they put in, all the long hours, because for instance, when you buy a house, the majority of the money in the beginning of it actually goes to principal. I mean, excuse me, go to interest. So a lot of times if you're buying a $300,000 house, by the time you finish paying for that house, you're pretty much paying for two houses. And that's the way it kind of works. The bank always wins. But even if you pay that house off, think about it. Y'all pay that house off and you get the deed. But guess what? You still don't own that house. After all that work and all the labor you put in, here they come, the state comes in, or the government comes in and say, now you gotta pay what? Personal property taxes on that house. So every year, you gotta pay the taxes on that house. So, and guess what? If you miss that tax payment, if you say something happened now, you're older and you don't, and something happens where you can't pay the taxes on the house, although you have a paid for a home, that is a loophole for them to come in and take the house back from you again. The house, the land, all of it. And you spent 30 years paying that house off. And now you can't afford it. Because say something happens, a medical issue happens later on in your life, and now you can't afford that house. Or you can't afford that tax payment. Right. So now you gotta basically you lose your home, or they could come in and they could take the house back from you again because you have to constantly, year after year, pay property taxes on that house. And that right there, that's a scam in itself. Because if you spend all those at that time paying off that house should belong to you and your family. And if you decide to sell it, and if that piece of land, say if it's the same thing with a piece of land, your family has owned this land forever. But because you can't pay taxes on land that you paid for already, that you already own, supposedly own, here they come and they take it back from you. So this keeps the loop going on and on. So who wins? Now, and what happens is the next new couple, they come in, you got foreclosed on, or you got the house taken from you, right? The land and everything taken from you. Now here comes the unknowingly new couple. They come in and it starts all over again. And so you really never own anything. Even though you pay it off, you still don't own anything. And they want most people to be renters, right? But we are basically, even if you don't have the deed to your house, don't you understand you're not a homeowner for real? You're basically renting from the bank. The bank owns the deed until you pay it off. But still, like I said, if you don't pay the taxes on that home, right? Or say if you live in the homeowners association, right? Which is the worst. I live in a home association now. I would never, ever live in an association again. Because see, association is another way that they come in, the state, the government come in, and they have the people come in around they have these boards set up. And if you wanted to get a door put on your house, You can't even have a yard sale. But putting a door in your house, if you go put a door up on your house, say you want the glass door you want to put on your house, and you didn't tell them about it. They'll come and make you tear that door down. And or either that they'll either fine you until you take that door down. And this is the kind of issues a lot of people have lost their homes because of homeless associations and their fees. You have to get permission to put the glass door on your house. And I understand some cases people in psychedelic houses and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, most people just do simple things like putting a deck on their house. They add a deck on their on a porch or something like that. And if the association don't know about it, or they didn't approve it, then this one lady in our neighborhood, she had to have her deck tore down because the association didn't know about it. Nothing wrong with the deck. Deck was put up perfectly and fine. Because they didn't know about it, they wanted to tear her deck down. And see, and so do you even own that? Right? So we don't even own, I mean, the association owns a house more than you do. They have more say over your own home than you do. But you're the one paying for it. You're the one paying for all the bills, right? You're the one struggling to keep the bills and the lights and everything on. You are doing that. But the association has more right than you do on your own home. And the same with the cars, right? So you buy a $30,000 car, right? And you finally got that thing paid off, right? You struggled, do the repairs and all the stuff you had to go through, but you got it 7 years, then you finally got that thing paid off. But guess what? Do you really own the car? No, because guess what? You have to pay property taxes on that car to keep that car. And you have to make sure the stickers, the registration, the tags, right? And in some states, the maintenance, you have to keep that up too. So all those things you have to keep up on that car to maintain for you to drive that car. And you have to pay property taxes on a car that you already paid property taxes on when you first bought it. And you got to therein keep paying year after year property taxes on a car that you already own. Or do you own it? See, we have the illusion that we own stuff, but we really don't. And they always have a way to come back and take stuff from us. And I don't know how I got this far, or as the American people, like how do we allow this to happen to us? Wasn't it the Boston Tea Party? Wasn't that about, them wanting to get away from the king's taxes? So we are now being taxed more than ever. You get your paycheck from your job that you work for, right? And you the one to put the hard hours in. You the one that's struggling, right? And you finally get your check. You got what's gross pay, and then you got at the bottom, what you get is net pay. That's what we get. And even in that, look how much money they take out of your taxes and for taxes, and you get what's left over. And then you got to try to manage your life with the rest of your money that you have. All your bills, electric, gas, water, food, or etc. You have to do that. And you're struggling, and it's hard. And now with inflation, because now we're not on the gold standard as of 1971, so y'all know that the dollar, they just print money into thin air. And the more they print money, guess what? The more in debt that we become. So your money doesn't go as far now. So when you get paid your check, guess what? You have to try to pay all those bills with that little bit money because your raises is not keeping up with the inflation. So what do? You say, oh, let me invest some of my money, right? I mean, you can go out to buy a big screen TV. You can go do like a lot of people do, go shopping all the time with your money. But you decide to say, you know what, I'm going to invest my money. I'm going to take my money, the net pay that I get back, and I'm going to turn around, I'm going to invest that. But guess what? Although they taxed you on that already, you turn around and you invest that money. Now they want more taxes out of you on the money that you already got taxed for when you got paid. Then you got to pay taxes on the money that you invest. Now Does this make sense? You could do anything you want with your money. But guess what though? Even with the person when I said with the big screen TV, guess what they got to pay when they go to the store after they've been taxed on their check? Taxes again. You go to the grocery store, taxes. Gas, taxes. Whatever you do, now you're getting taxed on money that you already been taxed for. So we're getting taxed to oblivion. And so we don't have anything. We really don't own anything. Think about this. When you work overtime at your job, right? You're the one, again, that's putting in all those extra hours, right? You're going above and beyond. Why? Because the corporations needs help because they're short. And y'all know what they're doing. They're laying off a lot of people. So if they lay off a lot of people, then everybody else got to pick up the slack who are still behind, right? So now y'all got to do double work, double shift. You got to do, they may have overtime, mandatory overtime. So you work the mandatory overtime. But guess what? Overtime is taxed more than the regular pay. So even though you went above and beyond, you're actually getting taxed more for overtime. You're working harder and longer and then getting taxed more on that. So you come out with less money. And again, the state or the government, they get your money again. Although you put in the labor and the effort. You did all the work. You're the one that's going home tired every night, right? You're the one that's not spending time with your family. But they're the ones that's benefiting from it. And so we're in a situation here where we own nothing already. People are struggling. And you think you own a home? Really? Because they always have a loophole for them to come back and take it from you. And as the American people, I don't know how we even allow them to do this to us, to put us in a predicament. If your family pays for a piece of land and your dad or your mom worked hard for that and they paid it off, that should be yours unless somebody from your family decide to sell that land. Nobody should be able to touch it. It should be your land and your family's land or your house. If you work to pay that house off and you paid the property taxes, why do you have to continuously pay property taxes on something you paid for already? It makes no sense. And don't tell me, oh yeah, well, get the schools and the bridges, we got to pay the taxes. We got to fix the potholes on the street because they're not doing that. They're sending money to other countries, taking care of illegal immigrants and immigrants with the money. They're doing everything for everybody else but the people who need it the most, the American people. So a politician that's running for president right now, whoever, I don't care who they are, but they should be speaking on stuff that really benefits American people. We are being taxed to oblivion, and our money is being inflated to oblivion at the same time. And there we are in between. We trying to make it. Meanwhile, your money is going overseas for wars and stuff like that. You got the people in North Carolina, though. That place is still messed up. In Florida, where the hurricanes hit, they're not getting the money that they deserve for those areas to take care of those areas, but billions of dollars are gone everywhere else to take care of other people and other places. So I'm just saying, we're already in a situation where we own nothing. But are you happy? Because it's getting worse. And some changes need to be, there needs to be some changes to the tax code with the IRS and all this stuff, how they tax Americans and so forth, because we're getting taxed too much. Right. And then originally the taxes were actually supposed to be going to the corporations. But now it has been brought all the way down to the employee where everybody has so-called pay taxes now. And no matter where you go, what you do, most of your money is being spent up in taxes. And then when you're trying to, a lot of people are renting their places out, and they don't own it. And that's what they want most of us to be, just renting forever. But I still say owning your house is more important. It's still better than renting forever. Because at least you can, while you're living, you can actually have a place where you don't have to have a payment no more, that mortgage or rent payment. But still, if you don't have enough money to afford it, you end up losing it anyway. You end up losing your home anyway. And to me, that's sad. So again, we're already in a situation where we own nothing. People thinking in 2030 is going to happen. We're already there. Most people just don't understand it or realize it, or they really haven't thought about it. But if you think about it, we own nothing now. Your car, you really don't own your car because Mr. Payment, Mr. Don't pay the property taxes on it and see can you still drive that car, right? Don't get the inspection sticker done. You can't drive that car. House, same thing. You don't own a house because you got to pay property taxes every year on it. And so this country has a loophole where they can always come back and take your stuff from you and say that needs to be overhauled. When somebody works so hard and put that much time in for a piece of property or something that they worked for, they should be able to have it once they pay it off. And once it's paid off, it should be paid off. It should stay that way. No old couple later on in life, because of medical bills, whatever, such as have to have their property taken from them because they can't afford it, because of the property taxes that keep going up every year. Because that's the way they get their house from you, right? Every year, them property taxes keep going up. And so the more they go up, the more likely is that you will lose that home. And to end this video, I'm gonna say this. If any of y'all know about Bitcoin, I made a bunch of videos about Bitcoin, right? Y'all just go back and check my past videos out. There's so many people, YouTubers, talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something that you can get out of the dollar and start putting your money in. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm gonna say that right now. But if you watch my videos, you'll see Bitcoin was 16,000, 15, 16, 17, 18,000. Now Bitcoin is around 66 to $69,000 right now. And had you had bought when I said, you see that it's beating inflation. And over the last 15 years, it's crushing any asset class out there. The dollar is going down. And so if you want to hedge against this inflation, I'm just saying the opportunity for everybody is to get into Bitcoin, right? Just start and don't worry about the price of it. Okay. People say, oh, it's 66,000 or it's 69,000, whatever it is. I can't afford it. Yes, you can. It's called Bitcoin for a reason, because you can buy bits of it. Okay. You can buy bits of Bitcoin. So you can buy $50 worth, $100 worth, $200 worth, $300 worth. And what you do, you just keep dollar cost averaging into it. Bitcoin is projected for each one, is projected to go into the millions for one. So if we're only in the 60 something thousand now, then it's still early enough for you to start buying fragments of it, because them fragments might be enough for you to retire. But the dollar is going down. Gold, silver, commodities, you got to put your money in assets. I mean, because you need something that's going to give you cash flow. Cash flow means that whether you're working or not, you have money actually coming back to you from your investments or assets that you own. So I know it's hard for a lot of people to even think about even investing at all because of all the bills and the high costs, like I just spoke of. It's sad that we got this far. It's sad that where we are right now in this country. But the truth is, nobody's happy. And You practically don't own anything for real. We just kind of here right now, taking care of it, and then it just moves on. It just moves on to the next cycle. You know, all the land you try to build generational wealth, and that's what most of us want generational wealth, but it's tough. It really is. Anyway, so that's all for now. I'm just gonna make a point. We already don't own nothing, but you won't be happy because as long as the money keeps going up, the more work you have to put in, the more hours you have to put in for to just get your basic needs met. And the young people today, they can't even buy a house because of inflation, because the prices of a house is 400, the average price is over 400 and some $1,000. And for the young people that's out here, it's hard for them to afford a home today. I know there are some that can, but for the most part, it's hard. So a lot of them are still living at home with their parents because of inflation again. The dollar is being heavily inflated. As long as they keep printing those dollars, we're still being stuck in this trap. And the taxes keep going up and inflation keep going up. We're stuck in the middle. And the middle class is being squeezed. All right, y'all. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the Truth Seeker Network. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out till next time. And I'm out.